Jot down at 3A. What comes to mind right away? The opening scene, doesn't it? The way that you can, someone makes a hand gesture, it's not accepted, now you have 2 guys pushing, then the next thing you've got 3 or 4 guys, then all of a sudden, theoretically, you got 300 people who are back and forth. The prince has to come onto the stage in R&J and say, somebody's got to get jacked for this the next time you insane people do this. Once, it's kind of like a tipping point. Once it tips over too far, there's no controlling it. This final scene shows you what Mark Antony meant when he said, I'm going to unleash what? The dogs of war. In other words, Antony's already predicted, once I do what I do, and did you notice the brilliant way he did it? Did you notice how he moved the people? And then they get ready to run off, and they go, wait, one other thing. And then he settle them down, then he get them riled up, and they get ready to run, wait, right? One of the things we want to point out here, and this is an important 3B observation, is the way in which from this point on, you can begin to watch the way crowds can begin to kind of be affected by language. If you have a good speaker can move the emotions of a crowd, both to do good and positive actions, as well as to do negative. Let's ask it 3B. Jot down what for you is one classic example of a speaker who could move an audience to do something good. And then jot down from your study of history, at least think of the 20th century, one speaker who could move all kinds of people with powerful language. Of course, you've watched the videos of, for example, an Adolf Hitler speaking. And even if you don't know German, you still can tell he is a very charismatic, to use the term of Max Weber, very much able to move his audience by virtue of his speaking, right? Notice every time Hitler speaks in video, you will often see he has all of the stuff behind him. He will have all of his soldiers in completely perfect arrangements. What is it that he's doing? Instilling that confidence in the German people and fear in the German people. If you don't follow us, then we'll have to take care of you. You can get a sense of the way in which Hitler was very much in command of all of the different elements when he spoke. Obviously, we learn a lot from the way in which language can move people, and we become students then of rhetoric. R-H-E-T-O-R-I-C. We'll study these speeches for that very reason.